Hey, so this is the start of a game that I've been working on. This is just a test area. This isn't anything that's going to be in the game. But what I'm hoping for this to be eventually is a Portal style 3D puzzle type game. Uh, with the premise or the mechanic behind it being that gravity is always relative to where you are facing. So I guess I'll just start this. Would be the best way to explain it. So instead of gravity just being normal facing down like this, if you were to look up, for example, this is the new floor. So I'm not on the wall. This is the floor now. So that's kind of the whole premise of this game. I've been working on this for just a couple days now. It's for this being my literal first actual game in Unity that I've tried making that has gone surprisingly cleanly. I've programmed in Unity before, but not to make an actual game like this. So this is going cleaner than I was expecting. But yeah, you can jump on ceilings, you can jump on really whatever slanted surface. It's always relative to you, which I honestly think is just a super cool idea. And I'm glad that I've got it at least mostly working. I guess one thing I should explain is because your character is completely freely rotating to allow this to happen, you can rotate on the Z-axis, which is this. Normally in FPS games, that axis is completely locked because you don't need to rotate like that, but in this you do. So that's why if you press the right mouse button, you can rotate like this, and that's mostly just because, here's a good example. So if I'm standing here, and I look down, you can't think of it as I have rotated, you have to think of it as the world has rotated around you. That's not how it actually works, but if I were to look to the left, for example, that slant you see on the ground is literally the angle that the ground is to you, and so that is literally the angle that gravity is pulling you. So that's why the Z-axis rotation is necessary, so you can right yourself just as a quality of life kind of thing. It's not necessarily necessary like it would work like this, but it gets really disorienting really quickly if you can't tell. Which even then, this is a very disorienting idea and very unintuitive idea. So I'm not really sure how it's going to work wide scale for the wider audience if this does eventually become a game, but it's still really cool to me, I think. So, and yes, you can fully walk around a sphere like this as long as you keep your body somewhat pointed towards the center. There's a bit of a learning curve to it, but the only other quote-unquote mechanic to this, intentional mechanic I should say, is that if you press shift, your camera looks down, so this isn't me actually looking down, that's my camera looking down. And so now you're looking in the direction that gravity is facing, so you can do this, and you're moving with gravity. And then you can jump skate off of the momentum or whatever, because it is supposed to be physics-based, but it is kind of, right now, since this is just a test build, it is difficult to tell whether you are looking down or actually whatever. But eventually I'm going to have a character model, so it'll be much more obvious when you are looking down like that. But for now, it's not really. But yeah, overall, I'm hoping it'll be a pretty cool idea. Slam into that wall. But there is a couple other quirks to it that I've found, such as you can kind of b-hop skate if you spin in a circle and hold towards the center. Like I'm holding forward right now. If I just hold that, you can kind of b-hop skate and build up a lot of momentum, which I think is cool. I think I'm going to keep it. It's not intentional at all. It's just a byproduct of how the forces of moving and whatever came out, but I think it's really cool, so I might keep that. I don't know if speedrunners can use that or whatever the heck, but yeah, this is the project I've been working on. I've mostly got the physics working how I want to, so I think soon I'm going to start actually trying to make levels and building, the actual game part of this and adding some like maybe movable blocks and stuff that'll also be affected by your gravity. Because I do want like physics objects, like say this cube is a physics object that can move. I want it to also slide around with my gravity. So if I do this, I want it to fall with me. And stuff like that. But I'll get to that later. So for now, this is what I've been working on. For those that are interested, I suppose, this is the code behind it. I'm not going to go in depth about it because it works. It's not clean, but as long as it works, that's what matters, as is common in the coding world. But yeah, lots of just variables, doing things. This is to essentially just to rotate the player. That's what actually does camera movement. This is for jumping. You got jump buffers and coyote time. You got actual player movement, forward, backward, left, right. You got what actually does jumping, the force for jumping, and ground checks. You got this is what does the press shift to look down thing, so you can look in the direction that gravity's moving. And then I have a completely separate script specifically for gravity, mostly just for ease of use to me, so that if I have a separate object like this I want to just drop gravity into, I can do that. So that if I have a physics object, I want to do that, so that I don't have to copy and paste it over to its own entire script or whatever. I can just drop that into whatever I want. So, yeah. Thank you for checking this out. This is a little, passion project I've been working on. I'm hoping it'll turn out pretty cool. But I am fairly inexperienced with this, so any suggestions or feedback on this kind of thing would be greatly appreciated, because I am new. So, yeah, thank you for checking this out. Have a wonderful day.